Remember, love never fails. How do you know that you're changed? You're not worrying. You're not panicking. You're not caring about what people say about you. There's this thing that is about you that is lightweight. This burden is lifted away from you. You walk in confidence. And I'll tell you what, when people come around you, they change as well. They don't change you, but they change as well. Again, Ecclesiastes, when a sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, the hearts of the stupid people like me and you, people are filled with schemes to do wrong. What's that? That Ecclesiastes 8, 11, and 12. You guys? What? Ecclesiastes chapter 8. I read 11. You could read 12 as well at home. So, recon. Change your mind. Next, we're back into chapter 6, verses 12 to 14. This is the part that I called, once you recon, you reprogram your brain into thinking the way you need to think. When I do marriage counseling, this is the first thing I ask. I don't do premarital counseling. Varam does the premarital counseling. I do marriage counseling. When I do marriage counseling, this is the first thing I tell people. I tell them that I give them my example, and I throw this example in there. I said, I've been married for 18 years with my wife. We've never fought once. Do you think that's the norm? They go, that's impossible. It's not the norm. Then my whole entire counseling session is for me to reprogram their mind to saying that, yes, that is the norm. God created us to enjoy life and not to have this tension in life. So I have to reprogram their mind to think that when they're arguing, well, it's not part of it. You know, people say that, well, that's part of marriage. You need to reprogram your mind about the Bible in the same sense as, and Paul is going to bring marriage and he's going to bring a couple other examples in order for us to understand. Our problem is we accept the salvation plan. We accept that we're sinners and we know that there is hell and we know that sin will not enter heaven, and we know that, and it talks about that. It's going to say it in verse 18, in verse 23, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. If you have sin, you will pay for it. So we know that. It's reprogramming your mind, and we accept that. This person that reprograms their mind is someone that literally doesn't remember who they were before they came to Christ. They forget those traits, those habits, those ideas, those mentalities, and those whatever it is. It's changed. And you know what? It no longer has mastery, power over you. And it has no rights over you. And sin is what breaks you, decays you, that makes you feel yucky, makes you not trust people, makes you not love people, makes you be envious of people. Sin is what makes you be afraid. Sin is what makes you help old lady cross street give money to the poor and try to get gifts from the Bible. Sin makes you want to do those things. But someone that has reprogrammed their mind, the only thing that they understand, God's love never fails, so therefore I will never fail God. You with me? It's powerful stuff. Difficult, but He's going to give us the formula when we get to the next chapter. So once you reprogram your mind, the next thing is you need to yield. The attitude of the mind that a believer has, died to sin, must be, here it is, listen to this, must be translated into action in his experience. When you reprogram your mind of this new person, the next thing that you need to do is you need to take that, translate it, and put it into action in your daily experience. We believe, but our daily life does not match with what we believe in. You with me? Am I the only person that nods his head, or you guys are with me? Yeah? We do that. You know, it's amazing that we can say all things are possible through Christ, or Paul says, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. As soon as we find ourselves in a little bit of difficulty, what do? The mind of what we're saying and our action is not matching. So number one, clean up your mind. And Satan has put so much fear in our minds the first thing that we need to do is get rid of it. Say, look here, you retard, you no longer have authority or power over me. You don't. Because I died with Christ and I resurrected with Him. He didn't need to die for His sins. Guess who He did it for? Not you, Satan, me. So therefore, I am a rightful owner of what happened on that cross. I'll take it. Powerful stuff. When that mind is recon, the next thing is, now let's put it to action. Chapter 6, starting from let's read verse 12.
For who knows that what is good?
Rafi, 1 second. I need NIV. Either someone give Rafi an NIV Bible so I can follow.
My Bible's different, I think.
A little bit. You have it? Okay. Whoever has NIV, either give it to Rafi or read it. Verse 12.
If you want, you can read it.
Therefore,
Go ahead.
Yeah, who's reading? Yeah, Manifa, go.
therefore, do not let sin reign in your mortal body, so that you obey its evil desires.
Number 1, the action of what you believe in. It says, therefore, do not let sin reign. Stop letting sin reign. The first action of your mind is what? Stop, once and for all, sin to reign in your mind. Girls, I'm going to give you a sin that you probably don't think it's a sin. Dissatisfaction of who you are, or what you see in the mirror. You're telling God, I hate what you've created. That's not sin. That's big sin. For you to say that, and if you're dissatisfied, God says, accept who you are, and then let's start what you want to be, where you want to go. God's into health. God is into beauty. God is into makeup. God is into you being skinny. God is into all that stuff. But don't sin by saying, I don't like what I see. But you always have to look in the mirror and say, God, I thank you for what you made me. This is what I want to do with my life. Is it in your will? Then you go see Manifa, then she puts you through these weird exercises. So, number 1, what's the first thing you do after you reprogram your mind? Stop letting sin reign in you. Therefore, do not let sin reign in your mortal bodies. Human, spato human. He's talking about mortal bodies. He's talking about things. So that you obey its evil desires. Number 1, you stop. Evil desires. You guys are with me?
Yes.
Man, this is impossible stuff. Not unless you guys are sitting here with hypocrites and saying, it doesn't retain to me. Because at this point, we have all what? Failed. We're failed. You Christian, nice people, according to this, if you haven't stopped, don't even consider heaven. See, we're getting a better understanding of what grace is, and that's where Paul is bringing us. Second thing, when you reprogram your mind, you said, stop! My body is no longer a slave to your evil desires. Pornography, guys, throw that TV and computer and the wired cable system with it out. And if it's costing you $10,000 to throw that computer, God says, I'm going to replace that with $1 million. Because that's the God that